Hello everyone and welcome. So we're going to do a pick a card reading today, and I really want to explore a past life energy. So I feel like I'm not sure what I'm going to title it yet. Maybe what does your past life want you to know, or what past life needs to come through. So it's going to be in some way obviously relevant to your current life, and yeah, we're just going to kind of go deep into this soul kind of energy. So we'll see what comes through. So group number 1 is keep your heart open. Group number 2, attune to the divine. And group number 3, push through any insecurity. Group number 1, I feel like the past life that wants to come through is talking about your relationships. I feel like your soul maybe has done a lot of learning through relationships in your life, and in this life definitely I feel like you're learning a lot through your relationships with everything. Your relationship with everything, but especially like your romantic relationships, your friendships, your sense of community or family. And so there's a sense of a lot of heaviness in the heart due to so many soul lessons playing out in this arena. And yeah, the message is to actually keep your heart open at this time, if you can, or just to know that your heart will open again if you feel it's shut right now, because it's part of your destiny to love and be loved. So that will happen for you. You don't have to feel like it's impossible or no one will ever love you, because these are not true. These things you think are not true, and they're not coming from the wisdom and the integrity of your heart. Your heart knows the truth that you are loved and you are lovable. So really, you can let your heart wisdom guide you in life and guide you back to love. Like, I feel like you've really taken on some lessons to do with love, and to do with maybe letting yourself be loved, or maybe not thinking that you'll ever find love is the kind of thing I'm getting. Maybe, yeah, questioning if there's such a thing as true love, or like maybe going through some kind of, love story. Or it might be that love will find you a bit later in life, or that you had to lose love and then find love again. It's all like the stories, these soul stories in you from your other lifetimes, is all through to do with love. So it might also be that you connecting with souls in this lifetime where you are playing out like similar or new themes, but they're the same souls you've connected with for many, many lifetimes. So yeah, like soulmates. There's a lot of, I feel like you also teach people a lot through when you come into connection with someone. And there's a lot of like teaching that happens from your soul and from theirs as well. It's not like it's one way. It's always two ways. But there's something about the specific way that you maybe you've had to walk away from people or a person that you really loved, but you knew that the right thing to do was to walk away and to leave. And I feel like you kind of broke your own heart in doing that, but that you knew that it was the right thing to do. And you, like, that is almost like the highest form of love, is what I'm getting, was your ability to do that. So there's some really high level love things happening here to do with, like loving, but also leaving. Loving, but also leaving. Because in another lifetime you didn't leave, and then you learned that it wasn't the right use of your love. Right. So There's a past life that wants to come in to tell you that you did the right thing this time in walking away. Because you chose love. Okay, let's see what else wants to come through. What past life, Spirit, do they need to know about? 3 of Cups. Yeah, this could be in this lifetime or in another lifetime. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could have been through, this could be to do with a family member. This could be to do with some kind of a community or a friend or a sibling. But it was not easy to walk away. King of Swords, King of Wands. There could also be like, interesting. I feel like part of the other thing that you're healing is being able to trust that you are loved. Because I'm seeing some kind of past life where this is an interesting one now. Either you were like this or you were with someone like this. Like either you were kind of a bit of a you were not faithful, or you were with someone who wasn't faithful to you. Or it could have been both at the same time. But anyway, there's some kind of lessons to do with infidelity coming through, like really strongly. And so that might have been a painful, like sore point in this life. Themes of infidelity might really hurt you in your heart. You know, and that idea of like cheating or lying just really bothers you. So part of your healing I'm seeing in this life is to experience like a safe sense of love, whichever side you're on. Like if you identify with like monogamy, finding that sort of love to share with someone, that kind of pair bonding for a lifetime. Or if you're naturally like not wanting that, then honoring that and not kind of being in denial about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's something about honoring, like learning how to do relationships in a way that is like honoring of yourself and the other person. So yeah, being really like truthful about what you want in relationships is really important for you. And also knowing that you can have that. Your spirit guides want you to know that you can have what you want. You don't have to think that it's impossible, because it is possible. Fortune's changing. Maybe in this lifetime you're meant to experience, there's something about you not believing that you can experience something that you really want in this lifetime. Like you not believing that you can end up with someone but it doesn't matter if you believe it or not, because it's going to happen. It's going to happen regardless. Like I'm not seeing that you need to believe it. It might be nice to know, but it's going to happen regardless, because it's just part of your destiny. Yeah, it's coming through as well, like you need the ability to choose for yourself in this lifetime about what it is that you want. And like, for example, not just get married and have kids because that's what everyone else is doing. Like really decide, like, is that going to keep my heart open? Is that really who I am? And it might be that it might be that you realize like somehow that it might be some kind, okay, so this is how it's coming through. It's like there might be some kind of past life theme that comes with you in this life and that you're going to divert away from. You're going to realize, oh, that's not me. Like, for example, you might think, oh, I definitely want to have kids, or I definitely don't want to have kids, you know, and then realize that actually the other thing is, the other is true. Like, you really do want them, or you really don't want them. So something's going to flip for you in terms of relationships, or realizing that you want the freedom to be single for the rest of your life or something. Like really realizing like, oh, this is actually who I am. So there's some kind of deeper reclaiming of yourself so that you don't get lost and swept up in relationships. You don't get swept up in, you know, oh, I just have to get married and have kids and, you know, not divorce and because of my religion. Like those kinds of restrictions I'm seeing, you're meant to live without them. So even if you might have been born into maybe a more conservative family or religion or something, you're meant to live free from that and to basically really decide for yourself, like, what do I want? Because I'm seeing that maybe in another lifetime as well, other people made choices for you, or other people like even themes of like maybe you were part of an arranged marriage, or you were forced to have children but you didn't want to. Like these kinds of things of like feeling like your freedom within relationships was somehow not there. So now in this lifetime, it's all about what do you want, and what do you and what you desire will keep your heart open. Like living in a way that keeps your heart open. And living like that, and that being the most important thing. I kind of want to see if a specific lifetime wants to come through. Messenger of fire, 6 of air. Huh. Yeah. It's it's about freedom. Freedom. That's so breaking free from convention. In a past life, you made a choice to give up some of your freedom for something that was expected of you. And with the 6 of air, the boat there is giving me like Navy energy. Or if you look back even further, like, well, I don't know, Vikings on the boats or something. But there was some kind of convention that you were a part of that you didn't really have, or you didn't feel like you had a choice to say no to it. And I'm not really sure if you did or not, really. You know, like kind of getting conscripted, is that the right word? My brain can't, like conscripted into the army. I think that's the right word. Yeah, like something you did say yes, but it's like, and your freedom was just shipped away. Some choice you didn't realize how big it was going to be. Like maybe you said yes to marrying someone because it would make your father proud of you or something. And then you realize like, oh my God, my life has completely like gone away from me. And it was like shipped away. Yeah, and now it's like you realize this lifetime, oh my gosh, the importance of making choices from my heart space. Because when you make choices from your head space, that is what happened. Like, you know, getting married for financial gain, or for political gain, or for your families to be happy with you, or yeah, it's like in this lifetime you learnt the hard way about the power of your choice. Because you said yes. And with the Libra energy, it's like Libra can be a little bit too focused on the other person, like making someone else happy, like people pleasing. So I'm seeing that you gave away your free will in some way to something or someone else. Like it's some kind of like religious expectation or family expectation or cultural expectation, like you have to go to the army, or you have to say yes to this arranged marriage, or you have to be this part of this religion, or you have to have children. And you just said yes and went along with it because you thought that it was the right thing to do. You know, you didn't make a choice from, it wasn't from a bad place. It was from a surely these people love me and know what's best for me. But it's like in doing that, you realize, oh my gosh, I am the only one who knows what's best for me. So in this lifetime, there's some kind of, maybe you would have been born into a similar thing. But for some of you, you might have been born into some expectation that does not resonate with you from your family or society or culture. But in this lifetime, it's for you to realize your freedom and your ability to step beyond that restriction and to not let your life be taken away from you, like swept out to sea. Because it's like it was a choice you couldn't come back from. And a part of you kind of thought that you could. Like there was something about the gravity of your choice that you didn't realize until it was too late. So now you probably really value your freedom. And even going back to keeping your heart open, I think even in you wanting to commit, like there's something about relationships coming through again. And for example, you need freedom in relationship is what Spirit's saying. And part of that could look like you need to not have to settle down maybe, or have children or something. But it also could look like you want the freedom, you want to know that you are freely giving to someone and it's true. Like there's something about you needing to know that it's true, that it's real, that it's authentic, that you're not going to find out later that, you know, they weren't as on board as you thought they were, or that they, like there's something about committing to someone, but you need to know that they are true. And that feels free to you. If you know that it's true, then you feel free to give to them and to commit. But it's like it would break you if you found out later that they were like lying or cheating or... So this is something though that I feel like is this past life theme of realizing the preciousness of your freedom. So you don't want to give it away. You don't want to give it away to something that doesn't deserve it. And that's what you found out, because you found out that these people or this thing, it did not have your best interests at heart, and it was too late. Like you realize that, you know, for example, your parents in that lifetime forced you into an arranged marriage and you trusted them, but it turned out to be a horrible situation, you know? So you might have some kind of like hang-ups about not wanting to find out down the line that something wasn't right or wasn't true. But I feel like what Spirit's saying is the way to make sure that you live your life with your freedom intact is to just always listen to your heart. Because I feel like it's the lesson of not going against your own intuition because someone else is trying to convince you of it. And realizing that if you have to kind of like talk yourself into doing something and sell something to yourself, then and it's probably not right for you because you would have just wanted to do it in the first place. So yeah, I'm just seeing this like kind of wound of betrayal. I would say it's like a betrayal wound from another life where someone talked you into something. You didn't want to do it. You felt like it was wrong. You felt like it's not right for me, or you were afraid, or you knew this person they wanted to marry you off to was like no good. But you let yourself be talked into it, and you did it because, you know, you did it from a place of like love, but you realized that it wasn't the right thing. Yeah. Aww. So yes, in this lifetime, it's really important to listen to your heart and listen to your intuition and not let other people talk you into things that don't sit right for you. Because if they don't sit right for you, then they're not for you, you know? Don't let yourself be sold something that you don't want. It's that kind of thing. Because the Libra, again, it's like the interplay between self and other. And sometimes Libra can focus too much on the other person. How do they feel? What do they need? Instead of, hey, I'm the one that's actually going to have to be, you know, dealing with this choice I'm making. And that's what you found out. It's like, for example, if you went along with again, I don't know how much choice you genuinely had. Like Spirit saying to me, we always have a choice. There's always like pathways, I guess. Like maybe if you, like for example, in this lifetime, your parents forcing you into an arranged marriage, maybe you would have been able to get out of the arranged marriage with that man, but they would have found you another one anyway. But maybe he would have been better, you know? So it's like maybe your choice was still limited, unfortunately, a bit. And that might be part of why you were pushed into this, saying yes to something that didn't sit right with you. Or like, for example, if you were forced into the army or something, or the Navy, it's like, I don't know, sometimes there's like mandatory service and things like this. So there was some element of your free will being in some way restricted by the times or by the environment or by your gender or something like that, you know. But yeah. All right, let's see what final message Spirit has for you, Group 1. Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is saying like, you will know when you are aligned in your life by when you feel that your heart is open and when you feel that you can give to a situation, a person, a commitment fully, not half-hearted, like full. That's when you're aligned. Because with the Four of Pentacles, it's like there's almost this thing within you that doesn't want to have to be stingy or like transactional. We're like, okay, well, how much did you give to me and how much do I have to give back to you then? Like there's something about that's not going to work with you for how you want to experience like loving relationship. There's something about you need to and you desire to, and it's a need as well, I guess, yeah. You desire to have the right people around you or the right job or the right circumstances where you can pour into things without feeling like the need to be stingy or self-protect your energy or keep your heart closed so that people don't take advantage. And Spirit is saying that you can find that, you can design that, you can create that, you can live that. So yeah, really, when you're aligned, your heart is open, you feel you can freely give to your work, your relationships, without the fear that it won't be returned or reciprocated, or without the fear that somehow you're going to like lose out or be taken advantage of, you know. So that is, what I'm seeing for you, Group 1. I do hope you enjoyed your reading, and I'll see you in another video. Take really good care of yourself, right? Group number 2, attune to the divine. I feel like you have had many like deeply spiritual lifetimes with this Pisces energy. Really spiritual. Maybe in a really intentional way. How do I put my words to this? It's almost you were spiritual in unintentional and in intentional ways. So what I mean by that is like maybe you were a priest or a monk, or you were a high priestess, or like you knew about some kind of spiritual practice or herbalism or astrology. So that's more like intentional spirituality. But I'm also seeing with the Pisces energy, that's sort of like everyday spirituality and kind of being among the people and helping at a hands-on level, like through care, being a carer or being a nurse or something. There's something really hands-on about the way that the divine works through you. Like you really want to be amongst it. And yeah, you just have this strong sense of being of service and helping and healing. And yeah, because of your deep empathy. Yeah, I'm seeing one of your greatest gifts is your empathy. But in this lifetime, because you chose a new moon card, new moon in Pisces, you're meant to be experiencing your spirituality in a new way, in a totally new way. So there's some kind of break from tradition, or there's some kind of break from how you have always done things through your spirituality. Now it's going to be different. And maybe it's also because the energy on the earth is actually opening up to allow this exploration, because the energy on the earth is actually rising in frequency, which is allowing you to explore your spirituality in a totally different way than you have in past lifetimes, in recent past lifetimes. Because I'm seeing in recent past lifetimes, something that very deeply affected you was the feeling of being disconnected to spirit, or the feeling that other people or other things were disconnected from spirit, and therefore they weren't acting from a place of love or care or empathy. So there's something about I feel as well, there's something about the lower energies and the restriction that they can place on magic that you were really, this has been a part of your soul's learning, and it's almost like you were observing this through many lifetimes, this theme of the lower energies restricting magic. So for example, when the witch trials happened and the church killed all of these people, mainly women, but not just, because they, not always, but because they maybe had connection to spirit or magic or herbs or knew some kind of knowledge, but not even, they didn't even have to be guilty as such. But yeah, so I'm just seeing you've witnessed this interplay of energies, and it's bothered you. Well, it's more than bothered you, because you've played it out. You've been that witch on the trial, You've been persecuted for connecting with spirit, or connecting others to spirit, or offering spiritual counsel to others, or sharing spiritual information with others. Yeah, this is deep in your soul's energy of learning about, it's really learning about duality, but from a very spiritual place. And yeah, and in your own experience, setting out to live this spiritually embodied lifetime, but coming up against blockages or barriers or restrictions that somehow got in the way of your connection to spirit, through the threat of violence, right? If you shared this information, or if you practiced this, or yeah, again, like some kind of religious persecution or indigenous persecution. So there's something of a liberation happening for you in this life, because the energies on the earth are opening up in such a way that you're going to be able to experience your spirituality deeper than ever before. And yeah, I just see you I just see you really excited for this. I feel like as well you've been on this like learning journey, kind of a hero's journey, but spread out over many lives. And on this journey, it's like you've understood the value of duality with the Pisces energy. It's like you've come to the end and you've seen it all, and therefore you've understood why. That sounded really cryptic. But it's, yeah, like Pisces is the last astrological sign. And I'm seeing it's like you've been through it all. Like you've walked it all of the stories, all of the archetypes. And so you've learned a lot about duality and during that time. And it's like you've come to the end and you can look back and understand duality in a way that you never could have from the beginning, seen it that way. Yeah, it's like your journey has offered you new perspectives. And there's something about this lifetime where you're really understanding duality, even you're being challenged this lifetime to really go deep into understanding duality to the point where you somehow can find unity within it. It's like finding the unity within duality, the way, the harmonious center, the eye of the storm. That's your destination. What past life wants to speak to them, Spirit? Page of Wands, Moon. You have the archetype of the divine child within you, which is also the archetype of like the divine explorer, adventurer, visionary. Yeah, it's very much the divine child. That's the energy your soul has. Okay. 3 of Swords, 4 of Cups. Yeah. The lifetime that's coming through is a lifetime where this divine child energy in you was somehow suppressed, and it was pushed down by some kind of authority. So we have the Emperor on the back of the deck. It's like, boom, here it is. Like the justice hammer, like boom, but it wasn't just. It was an injustice hammer, and it came down on you. And they, like something really tried to push this inner child out of you, push this divine child archetype down so that it wasn't so powerful. And that really hurt you, because it was almost a form of like brainwashing that took place, where you were told that this, it's like, you got to enter the real world now, buddy, you know? It's that kind of energy. Like, say you're, like, I'm getting kind of a male energy in this life coming through. So I feel like maybe you were maybe more of a man, but it's kind of what I'm getting. But, you know, it's like, it kind of feels relevant in this story. So it's like you are a man, and you know, you grow up and you're a teenager and you want to go exploring. You want to like take your life in some direction that is truly true for you and it's divine. And you know in your heart you'll be successful. But then like your father comes in and he's like, no, son, you're not allowed to do that. You have to become a priest or something. And so there was this authority that was like pushing you down. And you were almost brainwashed a bit into thinking like, well, this is just the way that life is. You just have to toughen up, get a job, enter the real world, time to grow up. So yeah, it's like really putting you down for this divine child spirit that you had that was going to take you towards success and all the things you needed. So I'm not necessarily saying that you were defeated in this lifetime. I feel like maybe you went into a really dark place for a time period, like around when you were coming of age in this life, and you felt like, I can't live if, I don't get to choose my life for myself. I can't live under, the emperor's rule. Whatever the emperor wants, you have to submit to that. Like you wanted to be your own authority. And so I think you actually got out of it. I think you somehow got your wish, because the Four of Cups is showing me like Spirit showed you another way. Spirit was like, hey, I got you. There's another way. And maybe you had to do, like I'm kind of getting this archetype as well from your soul of like the divine trickster. Like maybe you had to pull some kind of a trick to get out of it, or you somehow like tricked this person into agreeing with you, or like you somehow got your way out of something in the end. But you really faced a darkness there for a while of being like, am I really going to submit my life to this? So there's something about submission in your soul's history, and like not wanting to be subservient to another person where they get to make the rules for you. Kind of like if an investor invests in your project idea, but then they take it in their own direction and end up taking 70% of the profits, and you're like, well, I just got completely screwed over. It's that kind of energy where you bring so much that others might try to just like use you for that and take advantage of it. And so because you're the divine child. Exactly. Because the divine child archetype, there's the challenge of it is that you might be taken advantage of, because the child is innately able to see the possibility in everything. And it might be a little bit like you might have had to learn about people having negative intentions, people having, like that might have been some painful lessons, like learning about discernment. But I think that actually children have really good intuition and discernment if they're not talked out of it by authority figures, right? So I feel like it's like you listening to your own intuition and having discernment so that you can be this divine child archetype in all of that powerful way without it being like somehow taken advantage of by someone else. But there's something about like being this divine child archetype, you might attract people to you sometimes that want to control you or want to fix you or look after you or make decisions for you. But I just see you being able to always like maneuver yourself away. Yeah, you're kind of like this fish always swimming in your own direction. No matter how many people come in and be like, hey, come over here and do this. You're like, no, I'm just going to go over here. You really can't be controlled or contained. And that's a gift you have. So yeah, in this lifetime, I'm getting that you get to experience the beauty and the gift of the divine child, the archetype that you embody, without, like, you've learned enough about discernment that I think you've really got your own back in this lifetime. You're like, yep, I, know how to work with my unique makeup, my unique energy. That's what I'm feeling from your soul. You're like, hey, I know myself in this lifetime. I know how to work with this. I know about this. I know how to work with this. Yeah. And I'm getting as well a really strong sense of knowing how to be kind of protective of yourself. Like, I'm getting you had to learn about how to be the right authority figure in your own life so that you feel safe. So you really wouldn't work well with authority figures probably, but you might have actually some deep anxiety or fear to do with authority figures, because you were definitely taken advantage of in the past through people who had positions of authority and abused their power. Because the archetype of the archetype of the divine child, yeah, like I said, is going to attract authority figures to it until that, okay, it's coming out of my mouth, I promise. What I'm seeing is, like, because you have the archetype of the divine child, until you learn to be your own inner authority, you will attract to you people who will say that they have authority over you, or try to have authority over you, or try to dictate your life choices. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, once you fulfill that energy in yourself, you won't attract that in. But I'm seeing you might have some kind of soul level memories about, yeah, how unsafe that authority figures can be when they abuse their power, and how that can lead to injustice, or even just that sense of like being taken advantage of for your brilliance, and someone else being like, oh, you've got the brilliant idea and I'll go ahead and execute that and take all the profits. It's that kind of thing. So in this lifetime though, it's like you have this brilliance in you. You have this original mind. The archetype of the divine child is so original, it's so brilliant, so much potential, can really be successful in whatever they desire, once they know discernment and like boundaries and self-preservation, right? So that's what you've been learning, and that's what now you're ready to go out there and have your own back and not fall into those pitfalls of, giving away any kind of freedom. Okay, so let's see what else wants to come through for you, group 2. The Hierophant, damn. And the 6 of Earth. You're here to do things your own way with the divine child energy as well. Because the Hierophant can talk about like institutions and traditions, but I'm seeing that you're kind of meant to live outside of that. You're meant to live, and it's not like you won't honor any tradition, or, it's not maybe totally or radically, but maybe for some. But it's like somehow you need to live free from convention so that you can really execute things in your own creative way, and so that you're not burdened by like dogma or no, this is the only way that we learn this thing here, It's like the inner child. I always keep calling it the inner child. I'm trying to say the archetype of the divine child is, able to like learn and grow, and in a way that's so free. And if it's self-guided, then it can just be taken into so many incredible places. But I'm just seeing, like, if, for example, that divine child archetype like wants to learn in its own way, but then they're in the institution of the education system, it's like, no, you can only learn in this way, and if you're not good at this test, then that means you're not smart, and all of these kinds of rules and limitations be placed in that, then that's going to like kind of wilt that divine child energy into kind of this sense of, oh well, when the divine child isn't given its freedom, then it can't always experience its own brilliance. So that's what I'm seeing is the key for you, is like not to wilt your flower of this like power that you have through like any kind of dogma or institutions or things that say you can only learn things one way, or you can only get things right if it's like this, or you're only good if you pass this test and get this result, you know, that's not where your brilliance lies. So I'm seeing as well though that the brilliance outside of this, it's like 5 to 6, there we go. When you can step outside of that, or step outside of any kind of, maybe even the cultural beliefs of like, oh, well, if you didn't get a university degree, then you're not smart, or something like this. It's like you're meant to live outside of that. And when you can fully let that divine archetype of the divine child through you, all that brilliance, it's like, boom, 6 of earth, hello. This is like really beautiful, abundant, generous, surprising energy that's really, really, really nice energy for experiencing life on earth. So in this lifetime, your abundance really lies outside of convention. It lies in the wisdom and the magic and the spontaneity of the divine child, and how the divine child can invent a new earth and create something totally unimagined before, and is not held back by, no, well, this is how we've always done things here, so we can't change. You know, the divine child is all about change. All they know is change. So yeah, embracing yourself for that divine child energy that you have in you is also your ticket to abundance, and doing things your own way with freedom. Like doing things with freedom and in your own way is also your ticket to abundance. Okay, group 2, I really hope that this reading served you in some way, and I send you heaps of love for your journey, and yeah, I'll see you in another video. Bye. Okay, group number 3. From your group, I'm feeling like you're really, really spiritually sensitive, like psychic, and really tapped in to the point where it could probably like potentially feel like a burden, even how psychically sensitive you are. And it's not meant to be. It's just that as you're learning how to be, you know, and what environments work for you and these kinds of things, like, yeah, it's just that you need a very particular environment to feel like all of your psychic energy is working for you. So you might need, I'm sorry about that, you might need to keep a small circle around you, like a smaller group of people around you, or you have a very divine mother energy to your soul as well, like a very nurturing energy. But I'm noticing that the woman depicted on this card is facing away. And I feel a sense like, for some reason, your soul really needs solitude. It really needs time alone. And I think it's because, again, you have so much psychic energy being processed through you. You've got so much information, and it can just easily become a drain. So it's like, yeah, I feel like in this lifetime, like I feel like your lifetimes that you've spent that are coming through are talking about the lifetimes. Well, in every lifetime that I'm seeing for you, I'm seeing your psychic abilities being a part of it. I'm seeing your spiritual sensitivity always being a part of you. And so there's something about this lifetime where you're going to be pushing yourself further than you have before, somehow, in some way. And I'm seeing like the third eye energy. So something to do with your psychic abilities, right? So they're going to be increasing to a higher level than they ever have before, which might mean that you feel extra sensitive. Yeah, there's something again coming to about the environment that you're meant to be in. And it's, you know, you just need the right environment. Your spirit guides want you to know that. It's not like you have to change. Your environment will change. And then you will recognize that you never had to change who you are. My throat chakra is going a bit through this, so I feel like part of another past life theme is something to do with your voice and silence. So saying things versus not saying things. There's something about your soul that has silence in it. You have some kind of a gift of silence. Maybe you're meant to own that. Yeah, it's like you work with the energy of silence really well, and you can offer silence to other people. And sometimes maybe people feel hurt by your silence, or they feel you've turned away from them in your silence. But I'm seeing that it's not like that for you. And maybe this is another aspect of yourself that you are really accepting. Instead of seeing that as wrong, seeing that as your gift. You have a gift of silence. And maybe the fact that you don't say everything that you think, maybe that's how it's meant to be. You know, I'm just getting like a message really strongly about who you are doesn't have to change. And you might for some reason think in your head like, oh my God, I just have to get better at, you know, not sitting in silence around people because it makes them uncomfortable. It's like, no, who you are is perfect. If you want to be in silence, that's perfect. You know, it's about being in an environment where that is okay, and more than okay, where that is valued as well. So I'm feeling like what I'm getting is you've had a lot of past life experiences of finding yourself in the wrong environment, and then having to learn the difference between what about this is me and what about this is my environment. And I think that in this life, it's really important that you don't attribute certain things to yourself that are really just an outcome of the environment that you're in. Because yeah, you're just so energetically sensitive, so the right environment is crucial for you. And yeah, your psychic abilities are strong, very strong, very strong. And I feel like they're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So I see a very strong ascension journey for you with your psychic abilities. And yeah, you're only really just in the beginning stages of that right now. Because there's a lot more for you to uncover. And yeah, your spirit guides want you to give yourself permission to take as much solitude as you need. Because you're just very intuitive. And yeah, it's so beautiful, your energy. It's like you know how to take care of yourself. You know how to take care of yourself. You don't have to doubt that. You don't have to think, oh, well, what's good for me is that I push myself to go out and socialize tonight because it's the right thing to do. No, like your spirit guides are saying, you already know how to look after yourself. Just give yourself permission to do that freely and completely. Because you have this strong, protective energy of yourself, and your spirit guides want you to lean into that. Yeah, like a mother lion kind of energy. All right, what specific past life wants to come through for group number 3, Spirit? The Devil. The Nine of Swords. The Two of Cups. Okay, so part of your reading actually didn't record, so I have to come back to this point and start again for some reason. So I just asked what specific past life wants to come through. Yeah, so it's the same lifetime that was coming through before, in the part that didn't record. Sorry, we're gonna go back. So in this lifetime, you kept your spiritual gifts a secret, your psychic gifts a secret, and you really kept that secret your entire life. Like, you never told anybody. And you had a very strong connection to spirit and a very strong connection to like your spirit guides, and you kind of lived in another dimension, is what I'm getting. In that lifetime, you kind of lived in the higher realms so that you could avoid the pain of your earthly life. And you did it very successfully. And your true like inner world was a complete secret to other people. And you just any time you could, you just escaped back to where you really wanted to be, which was free and sort of like, interacting with the higher dimensional beings. So what I'm seeing though is that you had this patterning in your soul, and it's played out in many ways over many lifetimes, of keeping yourself hidden, or keeping your gifts a secret, or silencing your voice, or not sharing yourself with others, and therefore not really being seen for who you are, and therefore not giving the other people the opportunity to love you for who you are. And I'm feeling like in this lifetime, you have been feeling probably from the beginning a strong pull towards being authentically true to yourself, sharing your voice, and letting other people into your inner world. I feel like that's been a huge soul purpose for you, because you are needing to balance out the energies of using invisibility. It's kind of like you have this gift of invisibility. And I'm seeing again, this is not just one lifetime where this was a theme for you, where you kept your psychic gifts a secret and used it as kind of your only joy in life in a way. And you just spent a lot of time alone. Yeah, I think in that lifetime you might have been you were definitely in a role that you didn't like. Some kind of environment that you didn't like. Like, for example, you were working as a maid or something. Some kind of service job. But you just, would escape to nature and be on your own and connect with spirit, really. So, I'm seeing though that pattern has become like a bit of a crutch for you, for your soul. Would rather like stay hidden maybe than be seen and be vulnerable. And so I feel like in this lifetime, as you push through any insecurity, like your card says, of sharing your voice, sharing your gifts, sharing your inner world, being seen, being vulnerable, being loved, there might be soul memories that come up of very real kind of reasons why you were keeping these things a secret. Like, really, I'm getting, you watch so many people be persecuted for doing these things, and I'm seeing it's really the spiritual psychic stuff that you really kept secret. But because you were psychic in every one of your lifetimes, how could you, like, that was such a big part of who you were and how you experienced the world. So I'm seeing variations of needing to hide, needing to be silent, needing to keep secrets. And so, like, Spirit's saying that nothing is either, like, it's not good or bad that you did these, like, that you have this in you. It's both. It's a strength about you as well. and it's naturally a part of you, this kind of more silent, invisible energy. But yes, in this lifetime, you are being called to come back into balance with your inner world and your outer world, so that you don't feel like you're not allowed to live in the world, you know, because you are. And this lifetime, you really are giving that to yourself. So really be assured of pushing past any insecurity to do with being seen or being heard. Okay, let's see what else wants to come through about your past lives and how they relate to this life, Spirit. There's that psychic energy again. The Ten of Wands. Oh my gosh. The Hermit. The Page of Cups. Yeah, I'm getting again this Hermit energy. Like the Ten of Wands may be feeling burdened by relationships. You might be meant to be really in quite a lot of solitude in this lifetime. You might need that, and that's totally fine. But it's like, I think you will experience being completely seen by someone in this life. And that's part of, and you might already be experiencing that. It's part of your soul's progression. But yeah, again, another lifetime focused on your psychic gifts. They all seem to be, they all seem to be to do with your psychic abilities. But yeah, in this lifetime, wow. Again, I keep getting this exponential, like enormous growth for you to do with your psychic abilities from maybe where you are now to where you're going. And I'm not saying you're not advanced already, but I'm just seeing it's like, boom, you're really taking off. And and it's because you're letting it ground into the earth as well, so that it actually can take off even further than it ever has before. Because in your other lifetimes, this is a crucial shift. Like in your other lifetimes, you were more keeping your psychic abilities secret and hidden. And in this lifetime, you're integrating it into your identity, and you're integrating it out of the darkness and into the light, where it's just a whole thing, you know. You're not hiding it from anyone. You're not pushing it into anyone's face either. It's just there. It just is. So you're integrating it into the earth, so it's going to be able to grow stronger, take root deeper. And that's really a huge part of your destiny. Okay, any final messages for group 3, Spirit? Nothing will come of this situation. Yeah. Emotions are running high. That's funny. So nothing will come of this situation is talking about your fears. Your spirit guides want you to know that there's nothing to be afraid of in this lifetime, okay? In this lifetime, you will be highly successful in whatever success means to you, but it also in kind of every way that you could imagine. Because this is my blessings card. This is like, this is one of my favorite cards, this one. And this is talking about blessings, big blessings. So you might think like that when you step out of this sort of sanctuary you've created, that you're just going to be faced with 9 daggers, right? But it's like, actually, you're going to be faced with huge blessings. So the fear is truly the false evidence appearing as real. It's not, in this case, it's really, you're going to have to work through it because it's based in past lives where these memories were real. These fears were true. They were based in truth. Like, you did have to keep this a secret, right? But now it's like, totally different outcome. Nothing will come of this situation, your fears. What will come of this situation? Great blessings. So just keep remembering that. And I think intuitively you already know that because you've already been on this path of pushing through insecurity. Yeah, so I mean, wow. Blessed lifetime, this lifetime, group 3. And the more that you come out of your shell and share yourself and let yourself be loved, the more blessed and blessed and blessed you're going to feel, because you already have your incredible inner world. You already have your connection to spirit, your psychic gifts. And so it's like you're going to experience the fullness of not just your inner world, but your outer world as well, reflecting that love, that abundance. Everywhere you look, it will be there. Okay, group 3, that's all that I have for you today. I really hope that this reading served you, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.